Hello and welcome. My name is Dominique and I'll be your instructor as we paint Good Vibrations, which is an acrylic painting depicting a Tibetan singing bowl and a lotus flower. Before we get started, let's make sure you have everything that you need. That includes your paints, brushes, a glass of water to rinse your brushes in when you change colors, paper towel to dry those brushes off with, of course your sketched canvas, maybe some snacks, clothes that you don't mind getting messy, and I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, a paper plate or some sort of plate that you wouldn't mind mixing your colors onto. Let's get started. You'll start off with a canvas that is sketched much like mine is here, except for your permanent marker probably won't be as thick and dark as mine is. I just wanted you to be able to see it on camera. We'll start by painting our background. I've taken my yellow and my red and mixed a pretty orange color that I'm going to add in the corners, and my background will lighten as you get closer to the Tibetan singing bowl. So I'm mixing in yellow here as well. I'm using my largest brush, and I'm not too shy about rinsing my brush off between the colors because I am using that brush to blend my background. I'm painting in a circular motion with that Tibetan singing bowl being the focal point. So keep that in mind as you paint your background. Of course, yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine by any means. I want you to be satisfied with your painting. You're just as much of an artist as I am. You can also add white to lighten your background and give it a more pale tone instead of the bright yellow and the bright orange that you've mixed. And also note that you can pause, rewind, speed up and slow down this video as you need. I recommend that you watch each step to completion before moving on to performing it yourself. And I also recommend that you paint the edges of your canvas. I don't know why I forgot to do it here. For us, the next portion is going to be the cushion that the Tibetan singing bowl is sitting on. And I've chosen red here to paint the cushion. Of course, you could blend that red with any color you like if you like the idea of using orange, but I'm going to stick with red, and I'm using a large brush here. I am being mindful of the edges, but you don't have to worry much about painting over the permanent marker because it'll resist a layer of paint. Now I'm bringing in a little bit of white onto my paintbrush to highlight the front of the pillow and give it more of a 3D look. You don't have to highlight the entire pillow in white. Just making that front a little bit brighter will help give your cushion some depth. The next step of this painting is going to be the inside of the bowl. I'm taking my brown as it is and just covering that inside area of the bowl completely. I might find that I'll add in a little bit of black towards the center to give it a kind of 3D effect in showing you that the inside of the bowl is darker because there's shadows in there. When you're ready to move forward, we'll paint the outside of our Tibetan singing bowl. The outside of our bowl is going to use a color that will mix from a little bit of brown, a little bit of yellow, and a generous amount of white. So once you get the perfect color for your bowl, I want mine to be gold like my actual singing bowl, then just add a layer onto the front of your bowl. And then go in with some white and highlight the front of the bowl, highlight the front rim, and give it that little pop of light that'll make your bowl look more 3D. Next, we'll move on to painting our mallet. Here I've mixed brown with black to make a slightly darker brown than is used on the inside of our bowl. So I'm painting in that mallet, being mindful that I don't want to paint over the front of the bowl that we just painted. Again, to add a 3D effect, I'm going to highlight my mallet. So I'm going to choose to highlight the upper edge with a little bit of white and just drag it down a tiny bit to blend. while I'm waiting for that to dry before I add the last details to the mallet stick, I am going to go back to my bowl front because oftentimes it is nice to add a second layer of paint to make your art look more opaque. Don't forget to keep that highlight in the front of the bowl, and you can do that using white and a tad bit of yellow to give a goldish tone. Once you're done adding that second layer onto the bowl, you can come back to the mallet stick and add in that darker brown tone in the ridges towards the middle of the mallet stick. You can take that same shade of brown and accent the front of the bowl with those two lines or even dots across it. You can really make whatever design you want here. I'm just here for suggestions, really. For our next step, we're going to add details to our pillow. And this will include shading using just plain red on the bottom of our pillow and towards the back of our pillow. And then on whatever side plate you have, mix red with white to create a light pink that we'll use on the rope and tassel. So I'll give that rope and tassel a base layer of the light pink. And then I'll take some red and go to the side of my tassels and on top of the rope to add a little bit of shading. You don't want to use too big of a brush here, but you also don't need a detail brush, so maybe a medium-sized brush will do the trick. Then once I'm done adding that base layer to our tassels, I'm going to pause on the rope. We'll add more detail later, but we'll let that pillow dry first. And we'll move forward to painting our lotus flower. We'll start by painting the backs of our petals. If at any point you need to pause and see exactly which petals those are, feel free to do so. But I'm painting those backs of the petals with red, so just a pure red. And then for the insides of the petals, we'll use red mixed with white, which gives us pink. So again, as I'm painting the petals here, it's okay if yours look a little bit different than mine, but if you'd like yours to look exactly like mine, just feel free to go to the end of this step and pause the video. If you notice here, I'm using a rather small brush, and this is going to help me make sure that my lines are nice and crisp and I have the precision that I want with this flower. I want these petals to be nice and solid, and so I might give them 1 or 2 layers of paint. And you can let your canvas dry between the layers of paint. So that might mean that you get up, take a break, refill your drinks, or if your painting's not drying fast enough, you can also take a hairdryer at a very low setting, just briefly over the painting until the acrylic paint dries. Next, I'll rinse off my detail brush and I'll add white on the edges of my petals. Again, for this step, you can feel free to fast forward to the end of the step, pause the video, and get a good look at exactly which edges I'm referring to. I'll add some finishing touches to my petals, and then we'll move back over to our pillow to add details to the rope and tassel. I'll use that same detail brush, clean it off, and use red paint to draw downwards from the tassels, making them look like they have a fringe, and then draw diagonal lines across the rope to make it look entwined. I'll repeat this process with white to highlight the tassels and the rope. Now let's take a step back and add a little bit of style. I'm taking a gold color, which can be mixed using white, brown, and yellow, to highlight the singing bowl. You can also take this time to correct any smudges or anything that you want to come back to, and just fix your details until you're ready to admire your finished product. And just like that, we've created a beautiful painting. Thank you so much for painting along with me today, and I hope you join us again in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and tag us in your creations. Check the description box for more ways to get in contact with us and a little information about singing bowls. Until next time, it's been my pleasure.